This content is brought to you by iTrust Capital, which is a great platform that allows you to easily invest in crypto without worrying about taxes or fees. iTrust Capital allows you to invest in crypto through an individual retirement account or IRA. IRAs are tax-sheltered accounts, which means all of your crypto is tax-free and can even grow tax-free over time. The process of signing up with iTrust Capital is very easy. They have a mobile app. They have 25 plus cryptocurrencies. They have full support, a dedicated team ready to help you. And it is free. And once again, 100% free to sign up with iTrust Capital. There are no hidden fees and there's no monthly subscription or membership. They also have great security. They utilize Coinbase custody for all their custodial services. So you don't have to worry. It is institutional grade crypto custody that they are using. This is a great platform. Once again, it is free to sign up. So visit the link in the description and go check it out. If you sign up with my link, you get a $100 funding bonus. So once again, check the link in the description. Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. With me today is Sunny Liu, who's the co-founder and CEO of VeChain. Sunny, great to have you back on the show.
Yeah, hello everyone. It's nice to be here again.
Sunny, I got a lot to talk to you about. Of course, I'm a VeChain token holder. I'm bullish on VeChain. So there's been a lot of updates on VeChain's end, and I want to start with VeUSD. Tell us about the stable coin and the plans for it.
Yeah, I mean, VeUSD, as we tell everyone, it's built upon the VIP 180 protocol. Is a stablecoin created by Stably, a US-based asset tokenization infrastructure provider who partners with regulated financial institutions to, let's say, provide this kind of the service. It's the first stablecoin on VeChain Soul blockchain. Anyone could just, send US dollars to Stably and mint VeUSD, or in the other way around, send a VeUSD to get dollars back. Stably did release a video tutorial to help guide you through the VeUSD minting and the redemption process. So it's pretty easy to watch that. And as a versatile layer one public blockchain, we envisage, let's say, many exciting use case scenarios to come and based on user requests. Its addition also serves and boosts, the scope of functionality for our growing NFT and DeFi ecosystem, along with the normal enterprise adoptions like, supply chain finance use cases as well. So it's very exciting. We have the first stablecoin, but for sure, it's not going to be the only stablecoin. We're going to launch more and more stablecoin solution in the coming years.
That's exciting. So potentially, as you kind of stated there, your partners and folks who are already working with you could leverage this stablecoin.
Yes, of course. It's pretty easy to use, actually. Pretty much easy to integrate with VeChain Soul blockchain.
I also want to ask you about VeChain Foundation's expansion to Europe and their future plans for the foundation in San Marino and beyond.
Yeah, I mean, actually, we have been working very closely with Europe or in Europe since early beginning. We start the first use case with Givenchy, which is in France. And our global partner, DNV, has very strong presence in Europe. And we build lots of cases, with them in Europe. We did first the blockchain-based Green Pass with San Marino. The first sustainability with use case with H&M, also European company. I think they're based in Switzerland, the headquarters based in Switzerland. And Sweden. No, sorry for that. And my personal favorite project, like the Receipt case to use blockchain to help plastic waste collection from the ocean, also in Europe. So basically, I will call it Europe is our home. And following the setting up the headquarters in San Marino, we wanted to further expand its technology presence in Europe by forming a new technology team in order to support the growing demands from business throughout Europe. So if you are passionate about the blockchain and also loves, the elegant cities of Europeans like Milan, like Paris, Dublin, like myself, come to join us. We're going to have a huge hiring plan coming soon.
That's exciting. And maybe I have to look into that too. We'll talk about that offline.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
That's awesome. I wanted to ask you about VeCarbon. That was recently announced. Can you tell us about that and how it works?
Yeah, let's say it's quite aligned with our new strategy is goal sustainability. To be more specific for VeCarbon, actually VeCarbon is a SaaS platform, focus on building up the carbon credits or carbon emission credits calculation based on different enterprise or different organizations' activities. So basically kind of ease the process for those players to be like really, let's say, easy to go. Basically, you just need to collect the different business activities based on, your energy consumption, electricity bills, gas bills, all of that, and you are able to calculate how much carbon emission reduction you can contribute, and also what kind of the places you can make the improvements to save more energy, to reduce more carbon emissions. And on top of that, you can just click one button to generate the reports to submit to authorities. Right now, we start from China based on the regulations, also quite aligned with, let's say, Chinese national strategy, 30, 60 plans. China, released the national strategy, wants to reach the carbon emission summit by 2030, and also reach the carbon neutrality by 2060. But for sure, we're not going to limit only for China market, but let's say we're going to expand or replicate these kind of practices to other places. For example, like Europe will be the next regime to replicate or to expand that. But we wanted, as what VeChain does always, we wanted to make it solid paces. We want to do it like nice and fun, sound in China first, and then we go other places.
Wow, that's exciting. And I'm sure a lot of companies will want to leverage this respective platform. Are there any names, you may not be able to share this, but any names of companies in China that you can tell us that are looking to adopt VeCarbon?
Well, not only looking to, actually, they already be alive already. Sure. For some food companies, some campus with manufacturing, some like beverage company has done the POC, and we're going to expand that. And also we have been talking to and working with, let's say, electricity vehicle companies, and also including the charging station, because right now it's more like, let's say, diversified areas. But using this kind of standard SaaS platform, basically for us, it's just based on the input you can generate, you can provide. So you input into a smart contract, which a smart contract can be specified or customized based on two things. One is your scenario, your industries, right? And the second is the formula. Like you got to come to the carbon emission expert like DNV, to generate the formula, and then we just assemble it in a smart contract. So based on the data input, and then you have results, and also just try to align with the authority reports. For sure, authority usually will have different requirements in terms of what kind of the report they wanted to see, and after that, you just run it on a daily basis, and every month or every week, based on the requirement, you click a button, and the authority will receive your report. So it's pretty easy done for enterprise.
That's very exciting and good to hear the adoption happening on multiple fronts with different folks in different industries.
Sure.
So speaking of VeChain Enterprise, obviously it's been a tough year for the global economy. And
Yeah.
I've been hearing, you know, a lot of people are hearing the news of supply chain issues with governments and companies. And in the back of my mind, you know, I know with this the use case that VeChain was built around, and I'm thinking, boy, I wonder if VeChain is getting a lot of interest from governments and companies. Can you tell us if you've seen a rise in demand for VeChain?
Well, yes, honestly, and not only in, let's say, one area, actually it's quite globally. And also, especially when we talk about like Europe, like United States or Singapore, because of the regulation in terms of the token, in terms of the crypto is going to very positive way. You know, for example, recently Joe Biden's executive order for crypto, and back to 2018, the MICA, you know, market in crypto assets regulation in Europe. So when you think about not only about the rising requirements or demands about the supply chain use case, but also they could explore more utility about the token as well. For example, recently we have been working on a case is like using the token, using the NFT to support, let's say, supply chain finance. So from the traceability, like entry level, let's say, entry level application for supply chain is about a traceability, you know, demonstrating the information, provide the transparency about the information, whatever about the stock, about the goods, about logistics. Now we're transforming to, let's say, sustainability contributions, and now we're entering into supply chain finance, you know, area using the token utilities as well. So it's pretty exciting about that. Honestly, right now I'm more worried about the delivery capabilities from my team. We can see the rising demands here and there. That's why, you know, one of the major reasons we want to set up the technical center in Europe, and, you know, in our plan, we wanted to recruit at least 100 technical guys over there. Wow. With multiple offsets, you know, like under the leadership of Antonio. You know, we're so lucky to have Antonio in the team. He has lots of experiences and expertise in blockchain area, and specifically, he has been working with VeChain from another avatar, let's say. He was the ex-global CTO of Blockchain Labs for Deloitte, quite a large operations under his management before. So with his expertise and also leadership, and specifically the experience with VeChain already in the past 3 years, I have quite a confidence he could build up the team very quickly. So we're able to fulfill those kind of requests or demands from the market.
Yeah, you know, I was just thinking about you guys when I heard about all the supply chains. I'm like, you're probably getting a lot of demand. So
yes,
great to hear. I mean, it's unfortunate circumstances in a way, you know, for the world given the pandemic and so forth. But obviously, you have a solution which can help address a lot of the issues that we're facing.
Yeah, but also on top of that, I have to, you know, share the truth with everyone. COVID did impact a lot of things. Most of the companies were suffering, even for like, you know, struggling to be survival in the market. You know, people are now able to show in the office, only stay talking remote or, you know, sitting together, share a drink or coffee, you know, to have the inspirational, let's say, brainstorming or conversation. It's a totally different thing. To be honest, I can endorse that. Yeah. Because it's the first time I'm in the United States right now, and it's the second time for me to go overseas traveling, and it feels totally different. I spent some time with Renato, you know, from DMV, like 2 weeks ago in Milan. He told me, I quote, like 5 times productivity when I there, other than, you know, just talking on the phone. So lots of impacts. And I have to say, for most of the enterprise or organizations, whatever the big or small, when they think about like we need to go for digitalization, we need to go for embracing the blockchain technologies, but honestly, it's quite difficult for them to, let's say, moving faster because of the COVID impacts. So we still need to take time and bring easier and handy solution for them. So like what we have been talking about, the VeCarbon, this kind of the SaaS platform will help them like go the space or changing the strategy to embrace digitalization in a much larger scale and a much faster speed. That could definitely help on that.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about some news that we heard just this past week, and that is Draper University's accelerator / incubator, which was going to leverage VeChain to help, I guess, Web3 founders. If you can tell us about that and how that collaboration came about.
Sure. Draper is no stranger to me at all, actually. Draper Venture was the investor of VeChain. And they invested us in 2018, 17, 18. I was also invited to be the guest speaker for Draper University several times. I like the setup. I like the sessions. The enthusiastic vibes of the people there, and most importantly, the passion of those young heroes. They call those startups or to be startups as a heroes. So that's why they call Booster VC also like a hero city. It's very interesting setup there. If you got a chance to see, I highly recommend it to do that. So if you're thinking about doing a startup or, try to contribute or try to develop something on the blockchain, on any kind of new technologies, definitely that's a choice you could make very easily. Kind of like as your preschool, before you go to do a startup, it's better to surprise you, other than surprise you, you can learning something in the preschool and be ready for the real startup sessions. Sure. So we're doing like two programs actually in the plan. The first one is we call VeChain Fellowship. It's a 4-week online certificate program for future founders. I'm for sure, if myself, I would love to go to San Marino, to hang around with all of the young startups and passionate guys. But because of the COVID constraints, we do this as online. But don't worry, we definitely will do offline for the next time as well. So it's a 4-week online certificate program. And for people to learn the fundamentals of entrepreneurship and also blockchain with Silicon Valley legends and also the industrial experts as well. So you have lots of things to learn. And the second program is we call VeChain Web3 Accelerator, which is intended for high growth blockchain companies building across DeFi, smart NFT projects, virtual worlds, gaming, and metaverse also. Whatever you are already operating the VeChain store or you are trying to build on top, we all welcome, okay? So the VeChain Fellowship program will run from April 18th to May 13th, and Web3 Accelerator will operate from July to September. So both programs, you can just go to website, to submit your applications. If your project is really good, or idea is really good, I think it's totally fine for it totally will be fun and very valuable for you guys to go both programs.
That's awesome that you guys are doing this and helping the next, I guess, if you want to call, generation of entrepreneurs within the crypto blockchain space. Which is under Web3 now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, you touched a bit on this. VeChain is often called a supply chain coin. You're very much known for supply chain solutions. And but you actually have a layer one smart contract platform. What are some other use cases that people should know about VeChain, and maybe that you're also working on for future development?
Actually, we let's say VeChain started from the beginning is a smart contract platform, level one smart contract platform. Actually, can do everything, even including the current, DeFi or NFT, that kind of a hot trendy topics. We do have lots of NFT projects running up on VeChain as well. Recently, VeChain states showing like there are 350,000 NFTs on VeChain Soul already. You can easily go to check on the VeChain states as our explorer to see it. And also, we have been exploring multiple different use cases in the multiple different industries, like automobile with BYD for carbon emission reduction, the Receive, my favorite project for plastic waste collections. So it's definitely a wild, let's say, smart contract platform. You could do anything you want to, let's say, creating the value for that. For sure, supply chain, I consider as an entry level for business activities migrating to the blockchain. It's kind of like the internet companies do. Internet companies usually migrating or providing the free tools or services to the users, so you are able to move your activities on the internet. Then you can have you can creating the new applications for the new values for the users. Sure. So for blockchain, it's the same. I consider supply chain is the first step for most of the enterprise or most of the entities trying to build something on the blockchain, and that's the first step. But furthermore, you can explore more. So for VeChain, starting from a couple of years ago, our new theme is go for sustainability. It's quite aligned with our vision to be the most valuable blockchain platform in the world. Now we just be more specific. We want to be the most valuable platform, most valuable and sustainable platform in the world. In short, VeChain wants to use Web3 model and DAO as a governance to implement sustainabilities around the world. So about this kind of the theme, we have lots of things to do. We have lots of tasks to do. Like you just asked about the Draper is just one of them.
Right. Yeah, that's exciting. And it's great to get that perspective. Like you said, the supply aspect is just the entry level, but you want to expand and be able to provide more applications and solutions to these businesses.
Of course.
So on that note, are there anything on your roadmap for 2022 that you want to highlight to the community or call out to the community?
Sure. Like I mentioned, goal sustainability is our new theme, right? So our roadmap especially for 2022 is like 100% aligned with that. And that's also like we are hiring people, we're building up the technical center in Europe, we're calling for more builders with Draper together. So I would say we can have like 3 different major missions or major tasks along with the roadmap. The first one is, build a very strong in-house team to deliver necessary tools and services to make builders work easier and faster, starting from European Technical Center. So when I talk about the builders, it's not only about those enterprise users, but also the community projects, startups. So that's why we're going to the second task is collaborate with venture capitals to enable builders through the different level programs, like a grant program, like accelerator program, and also directly investment. Like we announced before, we have, we set up the V Fund, and you just need to, keep it running and go for more investments. So, for example, why I said the Draper program is very, very useful, very valuable for those builders. You can easily to apply the grant to have something to start from VeChain, and also you can learning things from Draper University, and then you can be in the acceleration program to get the Draper support, and also looking for the venture networks, we're a partner with together. So that means your project is solid, and VeChain is going to invest, and Draper is going to invest, and along with other venture capitals in the network, in the connection, we're definitely right along to support your growth. So next three, the third task missions is we just continue working with our partners to deliver use cases, specifically in the sustainability. Like we see, we're going to continue to expand or ocean cleanup, that kind of the projects.
Very exciting. I want to get your thoughts on the NFT space as a whole, because right now we see a lot of artwork and Bored Apes and all these things, but you're on the enterprise business side, and you mentioned just not too long ago that NFTs could be used maybe for like certificates and different ways for verification and doing business. So do you see NFTs going beyond just the artwork that we're seeing a lot of right now? And
of course,
if you can tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, of course. To be honest, I have to admit, I made a small mistake before, is when I look at let's say the JPEG NFT, I was like, what's for? There was no functionality. I'm sorry for that, but I'm like a technical geeks as well. I wanted to look at the utility or functionality. I'm not really a fun guy sometimes. So I was like that. But actually, I realized, several months ago, someone just gave me a very inspirational talk is, I just realized, one famous quote is like toys before tools. So when you have something fun and you have lots of young talent, try to explore the innovations in that kind of thing, and then you will have tools. You will have the tools to be accumulated to support different things in the future. So that's why right now we can see a lot. I'm very happy to see there are like more than 300,000 NFTs on the VeChain store. And actually, they have different let's say, positive use cases. For example, like World V, I recently saw the Twitter. There is an Italian article, journalists report about that. They are collaborating with some like artists to support the sustainability, which is quite good. And also, in the past, from VeChain Foundation point of view, we did some NFT use cases in the enterprise level, for example, like certifications, and also like a green pass in San Marino. It's also using the NFT technologies. So that's why we are pretty much focused on, let's say, we call smart NFT. To make this NFT more utilities, actually we can see lots of industries, lots of sections could be benefit from the NFT cases. And also, not mentioning about the Vim world, they're already doing lots of things in NFT. Recently, they have also quite good other big plans coming up to, let's say, utilize NFT. Let's say in summary, I would say we start from a simple or very straightforward use case, but the smart NFT, or we call it e-NFT, could demonstrate or could, let's say, explore more utilities and functionalities in multiple different areas.
So we could see NFTs maybe for insurance certificates, maybe voting IDs, all kinds of use cases, right?
Yeah. Well, on the fundamental concept or fundamental technology perspective, NFT represents ownership, identity. So it could be used for any other ways, right? It could be used for people's identity, could be used for, let's say, assets identity, representing like real assets in the future, and could be used even in the supply chain finance areas. So it's a tool, and the difference is where you put in and what kind of the technology or kind of the, let's say, functionality from smart contract to fulfill different business demands.
So I want to talk a bit about the crypto market and what's been happening as a whole. You mentioned previously President Biden's crypto executive order. Obviously, you're not based in the United States, and the United States is just one country, but many saw this executive order as something significant. I would love to get your thoughts and perspective. Do you see this being the United States moving in the right direction?
Well, of course. I mean, firstly, I'm kind of the guy to live in the airplane, travel around the different continents all the time. Even COVID kind of impacts that, but I did my, every preparation work, so I'm able to travel around. But for the entire crypto market, I would say it's a little bit different, or let's put it this way, like it's quite different comparing the previous cycles. I've been into the crypto market since 2013. So it's quite a long time. I saw up and downs, all of those cycles in the past. But this time, I would say it's a little bit different because firstly, everybody knows Wall Street money has been rushing into the crypto market, right? There was a report in the market to say more than 10% of Bitcoin is held by institutional investors. Like, Tesla made a public announcement. They're holding like $1.5 billion Bitcoin, something like that. And also the professionals, that's from my personal experiences, the professionals are devoting themselves into the crypto builders, to be the crypto builders on a much larger scale and also much higher speed. So I would say that the entire market is totally different. The players are different, and also the money are different. So I believe this crypto market will turn into, let's say, kind of like a slow, but more steady, more concrete paces for long bull market. That's just my personal opinion, not financial advice for sure. And also for the executive order coming from President Biden, along with MIC, I talked before in Europe. I think it's definitely bullish for the entire crypto market, and also for, let's say, for VeChain specifically as well. So I would say, before people were concerned about crypto as a risk, like back to 2013 or 15, 16, people were concerned of crypto as a risk. But now it changed to the fact like people were concerned unregulated crypto is a risk, which is definitely bullish. So that's the reason why we set up the new headquarters in San Marino, having a big expansion plan here, there, to go for regulation, which is very important to connect to the real world for mass adoptions. And eventually regulation, I know there are some controversial debates about that, but, in terms of decentralization and regulation stuff. But I think from looking at the bright side, regulation is launched to protect the investors, especially for those people, who doesn't have enough knowledge. For sure, I definitely recommend if you don't have enough knowledge, don't put your money in. You got to do your own research. You got to study about that, learn about that. But roughly, as you say, regulation will require professionals, people could represent the investors, to go into the crypto market to enjoy the benefits of the future as the investment returns. So I think it's definitely bullish for the whole crypto entire market.
So would you say that, once there's more clarity in the United States, VeChain could potentially open maybe a location here, or have a more larger presence in the United States?
Well, to be honest, we have a presence in United States. The last VeChain summit was happening in San Francisco in 2019. It only just because of the COVID kind of puts everything on freeze. And also for United States, we sign up the first use case with a very, let's say, innovative startup like called Data Stock in New York. So we have a couple of cases already, and we have a presence here. That's the reason I'm traveling here. So, but for sure, it's really between the, let's say resource allocation and also energy allocation. But for sure, we will continue to invest in the United States as well, because we have quite a large community members over there. Yeah. We love them.
For sure. Well, I'm one of them and part of the V fam.
Thank you very much.
I want to get your thoughts on Ukraine and the Russia situation. So obviously terrible situation, unfortunate situation, but nevertheless, we saw Ukraine adopt crypto, like soliciting crypto donations to help them, to help the people there. Pretty groundbreaking. What are your thoughts? Is this like a tipping point for countries that they're now saying, okay, we need help and we're going to use crypto to help us?
Yeah. Well, firstly, it's definitely a tragedy to Ukraine people about, whatever is happening to them right now. I have friends in Ukraine, actually. The first thing after I know about the Ukraine thing, I try to find Dima, the founder from Hacken. I just try to make sure he's safe and sound. And to be honest, I have some friends from my previous career life, like when I was in Louis Vuitton. I have friends who has been Ukraine, found to be like dead or missing. To be honest, it's very tragic story. Even though adoption of crypto for a country is good, is positive, or even I feel like it's going to be a must for everyone, but I feel really bad they have to do it under this kind of circumstances, but the good thing is crypto did help them, so God bless them. I just hope the whole war thing just could be end like as soon as possible. Like should be end yesterday, not like tomorrow. Yeah. So God bless them.
For sure. I want to ask you a wrap-up question here, final question, and that is, if you could create your own metaverse, what would the theme be? And would you and that you could invite people to come into?
Well, if I'm able to create a metaverse, I would go for, my hobby is like soccer, football. Even though to be honest, I have to switch a little bit to my technical guys mindset. I believe metaverse is still a long way to go. Because it requires lots of advancement on multiple technologies and protocols, more than just blockchain itself, but also like AR, VR, 5G, cloud computing, AI, everything. And a metaverse has to be built in open protocol, open protocol framework with multiple contributors. So it cannot be just one entity job or by someone alone. So if I'm able to create a metaverse, that means I'm kind of like a Superman, and not only Superman, but also a Superman with like Elon Musk, that kind of mindset, able to build everything. But if I want to do that, I will build like a metaverse for soccer, for football, because I really love that. My mission or my personal dream is I still can play soccer after 60 years old. I still play like once a week now, but if after my 60 years old, I basically just find some senior guys to play together. But in the metaverse, I still can be back to 20s, 25, to feel this kind of thrill and excitement made of goals, something like that. So yeah, that could be my choice.
Oh yeah, very cool. Sonny, always a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you very much.